Hi, welcome back again. This is a solution to our previous code I gave you guys to code. This is a solution for that. Okay, the code about coding IQ test step 1. Okay, this is a solution how to code that. Okay, here is the question for the code. The question says write a program that takes the first name, last name, and range number from students. And if the range number starts with B2, you should print welcome, including the person's name. You are a 2023 student. If it starts with A2 or B1, you should print welcome, including the person's name. You are an old student. S, if it starts with any other, that is any other alphabet, you should print range number, include the range number there, not found. If the range number is below 10, you should print incomplete range number. Please check your input. Okay, if it is below 10. Now if the range number doesn't start with an alphabet, you should print incorrect number. Okay, must start with an alphabet. Okay, this is it. Which is the range number must start with B2, A2, or B1. Okay, now let us dive in. Let me show you guys how to do that. Okay, right here, the first thing there is to take the user's name, which was the first question. Okay, I'll say user equals to input. Okay, now you ask the user a question. Okay, so just type in enter your name, enter your full name. Okay, now after collecting the user's name, then you have to collect also the range number. So we say range number equals to input. Enter your range number. Okay, now we have said the user's name and the range number. Now the next step is to check what the user enters, to check the range number the user enters, whether it starts with B2 as it is mentioned. Let us check if the user is an old student or a new student. So to do that, we say if range number dot start switch dot starts with, okay, you put the round bracket, then you enter what you are expecting the range number to start with. Now for the first time, we are expecting it to start with B2 for the new student, for the 2023 student. Now you enter the B2 in string B2. Okay, if it starts with B2. Now here we made this an uppercase. Okay, we made this an uppercase. Right here we are going to do this dot upper. Okay, dot upper. Okay, to typecast whatsoever the user enters into an upper case to avoid errors. Okay, if range number does start with B2, let us continue. If it starts with B2, now let us continue with other codes. Right here, remember, if it starts with B2, the person is a 2023 student. So print welcome. You include the person's name. Okay, welcome. You include the person's name. Now you don't know the person's name. What you have to do is to enter user. Okay, type in user. Welcome user. User is the person's name. Welcome user. You are a 2023 student. Okay, hope you understand. Welcome user. This user here is a variable that stores the input data. Okay, what the user enters here as his name, it is stored here as a variable. Now we say welcome the variable name. The user's name will be stored here. So whatever the user enters as his name will be printed here. It will be welcome the person's name. You are a 2023 student. Okay. Now what if the user's reg number starts with A2 or A1? That is if the person is an old student. Now we come down here, we move back because this block of code, this one is indented. You have to indent it so it will work under the if statement. It will work according to the command of this. Now the next step will not work according to this command. We are going to come down here. We have set if it starts with B2. Now the next thing is to check again if it starts with A2 or A1. Now to check that, we're not going to use if statement again because there's if statement above. So we use elif, which simply means else if. Okay, elif reg number dot starts with. Okay, the starts with. Here we're going to specify A2. The starts with A2. Okay, or reg number dot starts with B1. Okay, elif reg number dot starts with A2 or reg number dot starts with B1. Okay, we want to do something if it starts with A2 or B1. Now right here, we say print. Remember, if it starts with A2 or B1, the person is an old student. So print welcome. You include the person's name. The person's name is stored on the variable user. So welcome user. You are an old student. Okay, if it starts with A2 or B1, the person is an old student. Now what if the reg number doesn't start with an alphabet, or maybe it doesn't start with it starts with any other alphabet that is not A2, B2 or B1. Now we use else to check that. Okay, or first, before we jump into that, let us check if the reg number starts with an alphabet. Okay, if it starts with an alphabet, remember the A2, A1, B1 is the reg ID. That is the ID number of the reg number. Then it can contain any other things. Okay, now let us check the reg ID. Okay, if it starts with an alphabet. If it doesn't start with an alphabet, then it has to return an error. Okay, let's just check if it starts with an alphabet. Then right here, let us check if it starts with range. This if it starts with an alphabet. Okay, now we'll take the user's input. We check if the first thing the user enters is an alphabet. We check if it is an alphabet. Now to do that, we use the if statement again to check the user's input to see if the first letter the user enters is an alphabet. So to do that, we say reg. What we want to check is the reg number that contains the data. Okay, we say reg number. No, if reg number list. Okay. Okay, let us remove this. Let's remove this. Now I want to check reg number. Then this bracket is a list. You want to check, like if I enter 0 here, what I simply means is I'm taking just the first character of the user's input. Okay, the first character of the user's input. Remember, in Python, list is counted from 0. Like, this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Okay, if I'm counting this, I'll start from 0. Okay, now I'm taking 0 as the first one, which is the first letter the user will enter. If the first letter the user enters, I'll take it now. Now I'll check if the first letter is an alphabet. So range number dot is alpha. Okay, range number 0 dot is alpha simply means the first character of the user's input. Check if it is an alpha. Okay, now we assign this to a variable called range id. I just created a variable called range id. Okay, I created a variable called range id. Now this range id, I assign the first character of that user to be stored here. Okay, the first character of the user input. If it is an alphabet, okay, I store it here. So what this will contain is just B or A. Okay, just B or A. That is what will be stored here, or anything, just anything that is the first character of the user input will be stored here. Now let us check what was stored here. Okay, to continue from this code. Now to check what was stored here, we say if range id okay, or let me put it this way, if range id equal to true. Okay, if range id is equal to true simply means if the first character is an alphabet. Okay, which is if range id equal to true simply means if that range id is an alphabet. So run the block of code below. We now indent all this block of code to be under it. As we have indented all this block of code, now if it is range id, run this block of code, else we will do something. Okay, now to short this, just remove this. It is still the same thing. As you can see, that yellow line has left. It's still the same thing. If range id simply means if it is true, run this block of code. Else, if it is not true, uh let us do something. Remember, we say that the range number must start with an alphabet. If it did not start with an alphabet, then let the user know. Okay, now right here, if the range number doesn't start with an alphabet, it should print incorrect range number. Incorrect. Range number must start with an alphabet. Okay, incorrect. Range number must start with an alphabet. So right here, if range id is equals to true, if it's an alphabet, then run this block of code. If it is not an alphabet, which is else, print invalid. Range number must start with an range number must start with an alphabet. Okay, we'll check the user's input if the first character is an alphabet. Now we come here, we save the user's input to be an alphabet. Okay, and we store it here. Now we came here and check if it is true. If it is true that the user's first character is an alphabet, run this block of code, which is continue from this. Continue doing what you're doing. But if it is not an alphabet, if this is false, then come down here and do this. Print invalid range number. Range number must start with an alphabet. Okay, now let us run this to see how far we have gone. It says enter your full name, maybe Francis. Let me say Francis next solution. If I should hit enter, it says enter your reg number. Maybe B2. Okay, you enter anything at all and hit enter. It says welcome Francis. As you can see here, welcome Francis next solution. You are a 2023 student. Okay, now if I should run this again and enter maybe A1 or A2 or B1. Okay, enter your full name, maybe Francis next solution. I hit enter, enter your reg number. Maybe my reg number started with A1, then others. If I should hit enter, it doesn't print anything. Okay, because of we have not stated that completely. Okay, now it is A1. It doesn't print anything because I have not stated that completely. Okay, let's go back to our code. Yes, if reg number starts with A2 or A1. I should print this. I think that should work. Let's run it again. How? Enter your reg number, maybe A. Okay, it is A2, not A1. Remember, we stated this to be A2, not A1. So A2, it should work now. If I should hit enter, it says, welcome Francis, next solution. You are an old student. Okay, now this particular part is working perfectly. Uh, First, we need to set, remember the question says the reg number must be 10 digits. You can see here it says if the reg number is below 10, it should print incomplete reg number. Please check your inputs. The reg number must be 10 digits. Now to do that, our code is working perfectly. We need to check if the user input is 10 digits, not above nor below. Okay, now we come down here and say after we must have checked if the letter is if the first character starts with alphabet, we store it here. We came back here and say if reg number does start with B2, if it starts with B2, then we now come down and check again if the reg number that starts with B2 is 10 digits. Okay, we now come down here and check it. We say if reg number is equal to 10. Now for this to work, we'll typecast this to len. Okay, to be len. Len simply means the length of it. We say if len range number is equal to 10, if the length of that range number is equal to 10, then print this. We indent this, print welcome user. Okay, now what if the range number is more than 10? Okay, we come down here again and say elif. We check if it is greater than 10. If it is equals to 10, print this. If it is greater than 10, okay, elif len range number, okay, the length of the range number, we enter the range number. Elif the length of the range number is greater than 10. Okay, if it is greater than 10, print maybe range number must not be more than must not be more than 10 digits. Okay, if it is more than 10, print range number must not be more than 10 digits. Else, if it is below 10, okay, then print incomplete range number. Simply means else. Okay, you add a column and hit enter. Else No need to add if statement again. I wanted to add else if range number is below 10. But no need to do that. Just write else print incomplete range number. The else simply means if it is not up, if it is not 10 digits, and if it is not greater than 10, which is it must be below 10. If the number is not 10 and it's not greater than 10, which means it is below 10. So no need of adding if it is below 10. So just print s print incomplete incomplete range number. Maybe please check your input. Okay, incomplete range number, please check your input. We are done with this. Then we now come back to the A2 and B1. Now here on A2 and B1, you just do the same thing you did here. Remember what we did here. Aside from this, aside from here, what we did here, from here now, what we did was we check the range number if it starts with B2. Now, if the range number starts with B2, we now come down here and check if the length of the range number is equals to 10. If it is equals to 10, we now come down here and print welcome the user's name. You are a 2023 student. Okay. Now, if the range number is B2, we now come down here and it is not equals to 10, it will leave this block of code. It won't run this code. It will now come down to elif and check this if the length is greater than 10. If it is greater than 10, now perform this, print this. But if it is not greater than 10, we now come down here and check else print incomplete range number. Okay, this is exactly what happened here. Now right here on the range number starts with A2 and then B1. We'll do the same thing here. We'll come down here again. If it starts with A2 or B1, we come down here and check if it is up to 10 digits. We say if len, remember we have to use len to check the length of the characters. If len range number is equal to 10. If it is equal to 10, print this. Now for it to print this, we have to indent this block of code to be under the if statement. You say like this. Okay, now it will print this if it is up to 10. Now what if the range number is above 10? We use elif, the same thing we did above. Elif range number is greater than 10. Okay, now what's greater than 10? We add len. Okay, the length of the range number. And if the length of the range number is greater than 10. Okay, if it is greater than 10, come down here and print range number must not be more than 10. Okay, range number must not be more than 10 digits. Now we'll check again if it is below 10. If it's not up to 10, and if not equals to 10 and not greater than 10, which means it is below 10, we use else column. Then you come down here and say print else print incomplete range number. Maybe please check your input. Okay, now we have setted the whole thing. If the range number is equals to 10, print this. If it's not equals to 10, leave this and come down here and check if it is greater than 10, print this. If it's not greater than 10, leave this and come down here, then print this one. It is incomplete. Okay, that is just the whole thing, how it works. If I should run this now and check, let's run it now and check what will be the answer. Okay, it says enter your full name, I say maybe Francis. Francis next solution. Enter your range number. Maybe I say B2 and then it's not up to 10. Maybe 1, 2, 3, which is 5 digits. If I should hit enter, it says incomplete range number. Please check your input. Okay, incomplete range number, please check your input. Okay, now if I should run it again and enter above 10, enter your full name, Francis. Maybe B2 again and more than 10. Okay, more than 10. If I should hit enter, it says range number must not be more than 10 digits. Okay, the same thing, if I see the same thing on the old student, something like A2 and B1, maybe A2. Okay, let me enter more than 10 digits and hit enter. It says, oh sorry, I'm supposed to enter my name here. Okay, it says enter your full name, not this, but doesn't matter. Let me use this as my name. It says enter your range number and say A2 and enter a lot of numbers that is more than 10. If I should hit enter, it says range number must not be more than 10 digits. The same thing. Okay, if I should enter below, it will still tell me that the range number is incomplete. Okay, now the next step here now is to check if the range number doesn't start with an alphabet, what will happen? Okay, all these ones are happening because it starts with an alphabet. If I should run this and start the number and start the range number without an alphabet, I think it will give me an error. Maybe Francis net solution. Enter your range number. I just start with a number without an alphabet. If I should hit enter now, let's see what will be the answer. It says invalid range number. Invalid range number. It must start with an alphabet. Invalid range number must start with an alphabet. Okay. Okay, we have stated this earlier. I think we have said that. Yes, we have done that. S print invalid. Range number must start with an alphabet. Okay, we have done that. What is the next? Do we still have any other thing that is left? It says write a program that takes the first name, last name, and range number. Okay, if it starts with A2 or B1, it should print welcome. Okay, you're an O student. Else, if it starts with any order, it should print range number not found. Okay, we have not done this. If the range number starts with any other alphabet that is not A2, A2, B2, or B1, print invalid range number. Okay, now to do that, if we come down here, here says range number that starts with B2. Here says range number that starts with A2. Then under this, right here, after this block of code, right here now, we'll say else. Simply means if it not starts with B2, A2, or A1, do this. S print invalid range number. Okay, let me check the question again. Print range number. Okay, range number not found. Okay, range number, include the range number here and say not found. Okay, now what we are going to print is not invalid but range number. Range number, then you include the range number that is not found. Reg number. Here we type reg number. Okay, reg number, reg number, not found. Okay, reg number as a string, then reg number as a variable, which is the data that was stored on this variable, the user's input. Okay, the user, whatsoever the user enters as his reg number, whatsoever the user enters as his reg number will be displayed here. Okay, reg number this not found. I think we are done. Now the next thing is to make this an uppercase. Or first, let us run this. Enter your full name, Francis Net Solution. And hit enter. Enter your reg number. Maybe the reg number should start with G and not B or A. Maybe G and then any other thing. If I should hit enter, it says reg number this not found. Okay, reg number this not found. As you can see here, the reg number was entered in a lowercase and it's printed out in uppercase. Reg number this not found. Okay, now if I should enter the correct one, or as you can see here, the code has ended. I have to run this again to start executing the code, but we want this to keep on prompting the user, so we need to store all this block of code on a while loop. So while loop will keep on looping the code if the condition is true. Okay, now where do we want the loop to start from? We want it to start from the beginning, so we add the while loop here. We say while, then you give it a condition. We want it to be true. Once the code are true, is true, do this. So we say while true, add the colon, then indent all this block of code to be under the while loop, so it can be executed once the loop was called. Now I click on tab and I have indented all of them. Now while loop will keep on asking, we keep on prompting it. Okay, now we'll turn the user input into an uppercase. So when it calls the username, it will display an uppercase. We say does upper, we typecast the user input into an uppercase, and this also into an uppercase. Now if I should run this once again, let's see what will be the answer. Okay, just enter your full name from, let me type in a small case, Francis Net Solution. Enter your reg number. Maybe it starts with B2 and then it's up to 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I hit enter. It says, welcome Francis Net Solution. You are a 2023 student. Now this was entered in a lowercase and it displays here in an upper case by the help of this dot upper. Okay, that was what happened. Now it still asks me to enter my full name. Instead of me to come here again and run this program, I don't need to run it again. I just have to enter my full name again to execute that. If I should copy this and paste here, hit enter. It says enter your reg number, maybe B2 but not complete, just 4 characters. It says incomplete reg number, please check your input. Okay, now what if I paste that again, my name, enter my full name, I paste my full name again, and maybe is above 10. Sorry, B2 but above 10. Okay, I hit enter. You say reg number must not be more than 10 digits. You say ask me to enter my name again because of the help of this while loop. Remember the condition is true, so it keep on asking me. Okay, I press my name again and hit enter. Maybe this time around I should try B1. Okay, and not up to 10 digits. If I should hit enter, incomplete reg number, please check your input. Okay, enter my full name again. I enter my name and hit enter. Enter reg number, maybe B1 and up to 10. B1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I hit enter. Welcome Francis Net Solution, you are an old student. Okay, now what if the okay, enter my name again. I enter my name and hit enter. It says enter your reg number. Okay, now this time around, let me let my reg number not start with A or B, maybe H, and then any number. I should hit enter. It says reg number. This is the reg number not found. Okay, reg number this not found. Okay, you all know how it happened by the help of reg number. Okay, the reg number was printed out there by the help of this reg number variable not found. Okay, that is how everything works. Now if the reg number starts with just a number without an alphabet, okay, this is my name, enter my name, I enter my name, enter reg number, I enter just a number without an alphabet. If I should hit enter, it says invalid reg number must start with an alphabet. So this is how to code that. This is how to code that. Right here on the code, I set the user's input, we take the user's name. I set the reg number input, we take the user's reg number. Here I set a variable and assigned the reg number, the first character of the reg number. I assigned it into a variable, and here I check if that which I assigned here is an alphabet. Okay, now I come here and check if it's an alphabet. If this is an alphabet, I don't need to add if equal to true. Okay, that it will still work, but that's not the right way you should do it. Just say if this was said to be alpha, so if it is an alpha, if the reg id, okay, then continue. Okay, if not that, then s print invalid reg number. Okay, invalid reg number must start with an alphabet, but if this, do this, then come down here, we check the reg number. If it starts with b2, remember, if it's an alphabet, then come down here and check if it starts with b2. But if it's not an alphabet, we come down here and set else, print invalid reg number must start with an alphabet. That is how it works. So if it's an alphabet, then come down here and check if reg number does start with b2. Okay, if len reg number equal to 10, the length of the reg number, if it's equal to 10, print welcome user. Welcome user, you are a 2023 student. This user is a variable that contains the name of the user. So welcome the person's name, you are a 2023 student. Else len reg number greater than 10, the length of the reg number is greater than 10, print reg number must not be more than 10 digits, else print incomplete reg number. Please check your input. Remember, if the length is 10, print this. If the length is more than 10, print this. Else do this. Okay, all this block of code are on the same line. As you can see here, they are all in the same line. Okay, as they are on the same line and they are indented to this. Okay, they are a child to this. Okay, they are a child to this, so they must function under this. Now if all these are not correct, or maybe you enter another number which is not b2, it will leave all this block of code, then come down here. As this is not a child to this is just like a parent on its own, so it will leave these ones and come to the next parents. Okay, if it comes to the next parents, now what did this one say? This one says if reg number does start with a2 or reg number does start with b1. Okay, if it starts with a2 or b1, then do these codes. Okay, if true, then check the length of it. If it is equals to 10, do this. If it's greater than 10, do this. S, do this. Now if this thing does not start with b2, it's come down here and check if it starts with a2 or b1. If it not start with a2 or b1, then it will now come down here and print reg number this not found. Okay, not found. Else finally you come down here, this one says the reg id. If it is true, do all this block of code as they are indented. They are all indented. Okay, as you can see here, they are all like a child. Let me put this thing back a bit. I know you can't see it that clear, but don't worry, I will zoom it back. Okay, as you can see, all this block of code are all indented. Okay, they are all indented to this, as this one just stays on its own. As you can see the line, here, but all these ones are just like a child to this. So this block of code, if it is true, all these ones will run. Okay, this is just like a child. The child will run only if the parents is alive, but if the parents is dead, then come down here and do this block of code. So this is how it works. This is how it works. Try yours and then upload yours on our WhatsApp group chat. Thank you guys. I wish you good luck, and our next tutorial will bring up another question on how to solve that. Okay, thank you guys.